morning, guys. Woo! Boy, did I get a great sleep. 11 hours, and I didn't want to get up. It was a great bed, good AC, good bathroom, hot water. Can't ask for anything more. I definitely suggest the Super 8 if you're in between the Skyline and the Blue Ridge. It's just a few minutes down 66 here at pretty much the first normal exit. Can't beat it for the price. Oh, my phone, darn it. I always forget one thing. Alright, so the weather today, so. Rest of today looks okay, just a slight chance of rain the further south I go. But tomorrow, it looks like I'm going to get pelted, and maybe the day after that. I mean, 100%. So it's a really good thing I bought that rain gear and tested it, because it's going to be put to use, possibly for half the trip. My keys. Oh my God. Can you tell it's morning yet? No, I didn't have my coffee yet. They've got a continental breakfast in there, but I just don't feel like loading up. Normally I would have half a pot of coffee in the morning, so it wouldn't really do me that much good anyway. It'd just make me pee in about a half an hour. It's just another stop I don't feel like making. So my plan of attack today is pretty much the same as yesterday, but I'm hoping there's going to be a lot more to stop and actually see. Not just endless overlooks of the same valley. And I'm sure there will be. I think this is going to be 2 solid days of things to see. Now tomorrow, the rain is probably going to put a hamper on it. So it might be more photography today and riding tomorrow. Won't know until it happens, you know. Just a final check here, make sure everything's good. Everything's locked. Everything's on. Got all my stuff. Turn my heaters on. It is chilly. It's 46 degrees. Have to say I'm kind of still used to it. It doesn't feel that cold. I'm sure it will when I start riding here, but when I was arranging my stuff, the jacket liner in the trunk felt wet. I had to even put it to my face to make sure it wasn't my hands. And it wasn't wet, it was just cold. You know, that rubbery, waterproof lining tends to feel wet when it gets really cold. Well, it's cold out. In fact, I'm going to zip up my jacket. I hardly ever do that. There we go. So I'm going to go down I said 66 earlier. I meant 64. I'm going to go down 64 back towards Richmond. And it's just, I think, about 5 miles to get back on the exit, or back off the exit to go to the start of the Blue Ridge. And it's free. I believe that the $15 I paid for the Skyline Drive is the only toll road I'll be taking this whole trip. I believe. Might be wrong, but we shall see. So some people have asked me, what do you think about the FJR for this kind of riding? And I've seen all kinds of bikes. I mean, I've seen standard Harleys to the big, sweet touring setups with road glides and street glides. I've seen BMWs fully decked out in adventure mode, all the cool hard cases. I've seen some Victories. I've seen a lot of Goldwings. Seen some trikes. People are attacking this type of riding with whatever they got. So don't feel that whatever you have can't do it. It's really a matter of conveniences. Now I'll say, if you're doing a lot of touring and it's mostly this right here, going across the country, hitting the freeway, interstate slabbing it, there are far better choices than the FJR. Absolutely. I mean, this is okay, but The bigger bikes do handle it a lot better. There's less wind buffeting. It's more comfortable. It's a more upright or even reclined seating position. But this is fine. This is not any kind of problem. If you take a passenger frequently, if you have somebody behind you, both for the weight and the space and their comfort, there are far better choices. I rarely take a passenger. The wife comes with me maybe, I would say, 3 or 4% of the time. I'm thinking of every 100 rides I go out, how often does she come? 3 or 4 times. That's really about it. If you do that regularly, if it's important in your buying decision or your riding decision, maybe you want to rent a bike for a trip, I don't know. There are far better choices than the FJR, especially with a stock seat. The stock passenger seat for a good-sized passenger is not going to cut it for more than 100, 150 miles. She hated the stock seat. She likes the Lamb, okay, but that still doesn't solve every other problem. All right, there's no wind protection, there's no real comfort, there's no armrest, there's no real backrest. She leans up against the back case, but that's not the same as a seat. She just has little pegs for seating. She doesn't have floorboards, doesn't have any room to stretch out. She's squished against me, you know, typical motorcycle. So it's okay for an occasional use. There's no way I would put a passenger through anything cross-country on an FJR. If you're doing touring and you're primarily solo and you like curves, you're not primarily or only doing interstate, you're doing roads like these that I'm doing on this trip, I don't think they make a better bike. I absolutely love the FJR. For just me riding, I like the sportier position. One of my 2 members recently did his thoughts or a review on the FJR, and one of his big points that he didn't like, is completely fair, was that it is a slightly lean forward sporty position, and it is. The FJR, as far as sport touring bikes, is the most sporty. Everything else leans you back farther or more upright, and he was looking for a very upright bike, and he landed on an excellent choice, a Triumph Tiger. And he even added bar risers to get more upright. So, you know, the FJR is 180 degrees away from the direction he needed to go. So bear that in mind when you're looking for a bike. You know, what's your preference? Should be coming up in the exit fairly soon here. But man, attacking these corners, now granted, I have not hit anything technical, but I know, because I've hit sharper corners, that it gets better and better. The sportier position of this lends itself more towards the curves. There we go. Blue Ridge Parkway exit 99. Got some nice color even before the sun's out. Sun should be up by now, although it's completely overcast. Sunrise was about 20 minutes ago. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on the FJR as to this trip. I'll of course have more thoughts later on after I go through the more fun roads. Like I said, I've been on a lot sharper corners around me. They're few and far between, but they do exist before, so I know how the FJR handles, like here. I imagine this is going to be more like Tail of the Dragon and even parts of the Blue Ridge. Sharper, lower speed, but sharper corners. And this is what I wanted to have fun with. Skyline Drive, like I said, I'm glad I did it. It was beautiful. It was there. It was on the way. It wasn't like I went out of my way. However, those corners were all real easy. 35, 45, 55 miles an hour, just sweepers. Nothing challenging to a motorcycle. It was just scenery, not riding roads. The rest of the trip, I'm looking forward to having some experience with the best riding roads in the country. So I guess it works out that the weather is going to split my trip up between doing photography when it's not raining today and just concentrating on riding when it is raining. Although my camera is waterproof, I don't know. Well, not waterproof, I should say, weather sealed. We'll see. It's all going to depend. I don't know if it's going to be a downpour. I don't know if it's just going to be a drizzle. Not a clue. But right now I'm comfortable. It's 48 degrees, coming up a little bit. It's supposed to actually be, even though it's raining, in the mid-50s the whole time, highs and lows. So should be at least comfortable as long as I stay dry. I'll pick this up when we get to the Blue Ridge, which should just be in a minute. Coming up on an exhibit here. See, the thing with the Blue Ridge Parkway is it's not just a road, it's not just a park. It was a big project. And this looks like maybe a hiking exhibit. Oh, it's an overlook. Hike to an overlook, no thanks. But what they did is they bought up land to make it and put a lot of people to work during the Depression. That's when it started. It took a long time, decades, to finish it. But they didn't destroy what they're going through. So there's supposed to be a lot of authentic old homes and farms and everything along the whole drive. So the scenes from when it was built are still there. And that's really what I'm interested in seeing and photographing. I will say one downside to being the first one through or not having a lot of cars and traffic is that the leaves don't get blown off the road. There's nothing here, but when I'm going through a bunch of trees, there have been spots where it's very covered with leaves. So you gotta watch it, take it easy, especially if it's wet. It's dry out right now, not really concerned about it. But you do have to be aware of it. With the cars and the RVs and everything, they all get blown off. It reminds me of when I was doing HLO. So here's a bunch here. And I'd be the first one out running, or I should say jogging, walking and jogging in the morning through the park. And I'd run through the endless spider webs across the trail because no one else had broken them for me. These are nice roads. These are definitely getting more like I expected. They're still not tight, but they are a lot more random. This was plowed through the landscape. It wasn't designed to be a road. And they even warn you that a lot of these corners are going to be diminishing radius. And they specifically say they're not like normal roads where the turn stays the same angle all the way through. These do change because these are going around trees and around rocks and through wherever landscape is best for the views and the road to get through, not to be an engineered road. So that's why they get more technical and more interesting to a motorcycle and sports cars. And I believe trucks are banned from this road, semis I mean. Ooh, another overlook. Pass. Look, the same valley. I imagine it's going to be a couple hours before I get out of this kind of spot and the endless overlooks of the same valley stop. The temperature keeps dropping. I think what I'm going to do at the next stop is put on my rain gear pants because my legs really are staying chilly, especially in the thigh. It's really the only spot where wind even hits them. They stay dry, your legs, as long as you're moving in the rain, but you still have some wind. I think having that extra barrier, especially since it's waterproof, will really help give me a little air cushion between my pants and my rain gear. Because it just keeps dropping. 44 degrees right now. Dropped a good 5 degrees since starting the drive. If it would go up into the 50s, I'd be fine. Because I was fine yesterday. Okay, got my pants on. Have to say I'm digging having this trunk. It is so convenient. What I did is I organized everything, I'll show you, that I have need for quick access to, wrong key, in the trunk. And I got it down pat now. Especially for coming into the hotel. I took this out of the package because I imagine I will need to quickly put it on, and the jacket for this rain gear goes on just like that. There's this really cool little picnic table. You can just barely see the top of it down there. They dug out into some slate or something and built up benches and all that. And they got a trash thing over there, and you can have a little fire going. And then it just goes down the mountain. I'm standing here doing this, and this guy just appears out of nowhere. You know, it's like, I got a good view of the roads. There's nobody here. He just, boom, appears right here on the sidewalk. And he's got his hiking gear and his poles and everything. I'm like, where did you come from? He's like, oh, there's a trailhead right there. And he's looking around his map. He goes over here. Nope, not over there. He's looking, oh, he finds a marker on a tree and goes over the road down the other side of the mountain. He must be on the Appalachian Trail or something. But I've got rain gear here. Turns out I'm probably never going to use my jacket liner. This sweatshirt works great. Super comfy too. Emergency tools down there just to pop off plastic. I've got a whole toolkit and everything under the seat too, but that's part of what I was using just before the trip when the dang thing wouldn't start. So I'm like, you know what? I use these. I need them. Pop them in there. Who cares? Extra tools are always good. This, just had another bar for breakfast. Probably get rid of the box pretty soon. Haven't smoked a cigar yet. Just been obviously too tired up till now, but I imagine tonight I will at least be enjoying one. Hopefully I'll find another cigar lover somewhere where I stop and I can give him a smoke and we can have one. Tissues, because it's freaking cold, man. My nose started running when I took off my helmet here. Luckily it's fine when I'm riding. And this is just a map I picked up. Camera gear. Again, I'm using this quick charger, and I've got my, I haven't pulled it out yet, my extra 2 GoPro batteries. I might as well do that now before I go. So when this GoPro battery dies, I just come back here, swap it, put a fresh one in, boom, that one goes right on the charge, and I always have GoPros charged, ready to go for the trip. My external drive is just in here for safety, for padding. And my camera, it's got its own section here, so I don't have to have the lens cap on. I pull it right out, and it's ready to go. And that's it. I've got a couple USB cords in here in case I have to charge something with this real quick. Everything else is in the bag because all that comes out only at the motel. I don't need any of that on the road. So just what I need quick on the trip is up here. I'm going to go ahead and pull those batteries out now. And everything else just stays packed. Super easy. Obviously the phone is always on a charge. A couple bikes. And I think I put those right in here. And these cases are obviously working out great too. Let's see, I needed the GoPro batteries. Where did I put them? No, you know what? I did put them up there. Because I planned all this out in the hotel room. I should trust myself. I get in the habit of putting the keys back in the lock so I don't forget where I put them. And so they don't fall out. Oh, I think I put it right in here. Yep. Okay, that's already set and ready to go. So I am good. I'm going to blow my nose again since I've been standing out here not riding. It's starting to drip. Whew, gloves are cold. Brr. I love these grip heaters. Oh my god. I don't even have them turned all the way up. On the FJR, if you haven't watched my menu customization video, you didn't know that you can customize each of the presets. You get low, medium, and high on the grip warmers, but those are all on a 1 to 10 scale, and you can set what low, medium, and high actually means. And I have high turned down because, man, it's made for the really thick gloves, and these are fairly thin summer type gloves. There's no extra thermal insulation. So on high, they're high. And one other thing I didn't think of this morning is I should have fueled up before hitting here. But I didn't. Luckily, the Blue Ridge has tons of roads that intersect it, lots of entrances and exits along its length. So there's no problem with that. Next one I see, I'll hit, I'll exit and go find a gas station. Oh, much better on the legs. I don't feel the wind at all. Holy crap. That was a good idea. Whew. Turn these grips back up to high. Oh, that's beautiful. I can't even tell I'm riding on my legs. Okay, 664, that's a road, so it's got to be a... I don't know what this is. I'll keep going. There's more convenient exits. It said 15 miles to Waynesboro. I don't want a winding road that goes back. I got plenty of fuel. I've got, I don't know, over 100 miles. It says 107. It's hard to judge going through these mountains, but it's probably pretty accurate depending on how up and downhill you're going. My mileage hasn't really been wavering that much because it's been a balance of up and down. But I really don't have to use, even going uphill, much throttle at all. It's just not much of a difference when you got a big engine. A little one, it makes a difference when you have to peg the throttle a lot. Alright, I shall continue on. So far, so good. I got a Porsche behind me. I'm going to let him by as soon as I can because he wants to go a lot faster than me. And I don't want to hold him up. He looks good though. I love Porsches. Can't afford one. Don't even know why I would want to if I could. Just the insurance alone. Whew. But they're sharp. Alright, so I'm coming down this hill and I see this little turn here and I stop to let the Porsche go through and then I'm seeing this road and that looks kind of badass for a picture. And then I'm parked over here and I see that little, I don't know what it is. So I'm going to go over here real quick and just check it out for a picture. Just have to make sure I'm parked at the right angle. Alright, that's good. I'm just going to walk over here real quick. See, it looked really cool from the top of that hill. You were looking straight down this slope and you couldn't see the curve, so it just looked like vertical road. Now, do I walk my ass all the way back up there? If the sun was out, I'd say abso-freaking-lutely. But it is completely overcast and just kind of dreary and low contrast. Huh, private homes and everything back there. Modern ones, not part of this. Just doesn't do it for me without the sun. I'll walk over here real quick. See what this looks like. Actually, I'm going to ride over there. It's no point in walking, and even if I do want a picture, camera's all the way back there. Quite a steep hill. Here's where an adventure bike with knobbier tires would come in really handy. Oh man, private road. Okay, sorry. Not what I thought it was. Cool driveway though. Oh, crapola. Flip around the other way. Okay, mental note. No more going down little rut roads with an FJR. Not the tightest of turning radiuses. Long frame. Oh, now I'm on slick leaves on grass. This is fun. Yes, I'm baby stepping it right now. There we go. Pointed straight again. Now I can pick my feet up. Big ruts. Oh, crabapple tree. Haven't seen one of those in years. Okay, back on the road. This is what I wanted to do. Another thing the park warned about is blind curves. I just went through a few of them. There are some curves through here where you cannot see more than, geez, I don't know, 1 or 2 seconds ahead of you in either lane. They're just so sharp and around rocks and stuff like that. Even if that car was, it looks a long way away on the GoPro, but he's only about 5 seconds ahead of me. He could have been 3 car lengths ahead of me and I couldn't see him around that last curve. So you really gotta not race through some of these parts. And it just started to rain, getting a little bit of a drizzle. I'm stopping real quick just to put on my rain gear jacket for the extra warmth. Not so much the rain, but hey, it started, so it's just kind of a light drizzle right now. May as well be ready. But it is starting, the temperature is fluctuating. It's going between 42 and 50 within just a couple miles. Starting to cut through my jacket, sweatshirt, and regular shirt, so this should help with that. Let's go over and take a look at this map real quick. Looks like another trailhead. Let's see. Blue dash is us. We are here. Okay, it's not a total map, so I don't know how far we are through. This is just a tiny little local area map. Okay, bundled up now. Feel like a kid in a snowsuit. Quite toasty, I have to say. Now all I can feel is my fingers. It's like Photoshop, man. You improve one thing, you simultaneously unimprove everything else. But the grip heater should take care of that in just a minute. I like this rain gear set. It's not bulky at all, and I can't even tell I have it on. Actually, the only thing I can feel from it is because I don't have the poncho over my head. And thank you for those that told me that it's supposed to go underneath your helmet for complete rain protection. So if it ends up running down my neck or something like that, I'll go ahead and unfurl that. But that's the only thing I can feel, because with my head tilted up all the way, I can just bump into the poncho rolled up. It's not hindering me or anything, but I feel it. Now we're getting into some nice curves. Love it. See, these are pretty blind. If there was somebody crossing the dividing lines, or a truck, or somebody broke down or something like that just on the other side of that corner, you got to be ready to stop or swerve, because you don't know they're there. There's that beautiful fall smell again. Fresh fallen leaves. Now the speed limit through the parkway, luckily, is 45, with some areas marked lower, as opposed to the Skyline Drive, which was mostly 35, with some areas marked lower. So much better rideability through the Blue Ridge. I shall continue on. Really gorgeous scenery now. Man, if the sun was out, if it wasn't raining, some of this would be absolutely glowing. And I would be definitely stopping for some shots. There have been a couple areas where it was exactly like I was talking about yesterday, where it was a straight road, canopy of trees. Obviously the colors right now are just spectacular. Would have been just gorgeous photography. I'm sure there's going to be more for the rest of the trip. Not bummed about it. I have many hundreds of miles to go through this kind of terrain, so I'm not worried about a thing. But man, this road is great. I love having this car just up ahead of me. I gave him enough distance where I'm not really seeing him too much, because I'd rather just look at the beautiful road, but he's clearing the road for me. The leaves are parting ways. That's working very nicely. Just listening to the sound of the engine. It's raining out, and the sound of motorcycle warning, sudden curve ahead. Interesting. The sound of the rain hitting my helmet, so relaxing. I was going to say, that's nothing. They meant this one. It's like rain hitting your bedroom window at night. Just tink, 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 tink. But I'm warm and dry. This is great. Give you guys a little better view. I don't know if that windscreen is blocking it much for you. I'm looking over it. I think the GoPro is probably looking through it a little bit there. I'm keeping it up because it's a wee bit chilly with the wind blowing through the helmet this much. It's 44 degrees right now. Plus it's keeping the rain off me. A couple cool bikes ahead of me. One guy's got a whole spare tire or spare wheel on the back of his. Looks like a spare tire. He's got junk in the middle of it. Small bikes, whatever they are. They look kind of vintage. Maybe like a scrambler type, pretty high exhaust pipe. Squared off kind of rear tire, real skinny front tire, and then the person in front of him looks about the same. Look like little small soft bags on the sides. It's got some hand guards. Man, you know, I noticed something. The first time I swap out the battery and it reconnects to the remote, the very first clip, this is the second time it's done it now that I noticed, it will stop recording somewhere around a minute. This one's still going. That's kind of annoying because now I don't know what I said. Anyway, I noticed a sign back there, 15 miles to the next town. Roanoke was 60 more miles. I am 49 miles into the drive out of 460 or something like that. So I'm making really good time. I'll probably stop at Roanoke for fuel and lunch. Might be close to 11 or so by the time I get up there. I'm pretty hungry because I didn't have any breakfast other than that one bar. But I'm thirsty more than anything. I forgot to get water. You know, I really didn't feel like carrying a bunch of waters with me in the trunk just for the extra weight. There's plenty of places to stop, so it's not a big deal. If you're thinking about doing the trip, maybe if there's two of you, your wife would probably insist on having something, but I'm not missing it. Yeah, see, it's just the first one. This one's still going, 1.5 minutes in. It's just the first time I swap it out. That first clip has stopped a couple times. So, just something I'll have to be aware of. I know it's not the card this time. You can't get a better card than I'm using. It's just that fresh battery after I connect it, and after the remote connects itself. Maybe that's it. Maybe I have to turn the remote off and on or something. I don't know. But just doing one clip and letting it fault out, I guess that's easy enough too. Just more beautiful drive. Endless roads, man. Endless curves. This is one, so far at least, I'll say I would definitely want to come up and do again. Maybe just bike up and bike from the bottom from Cherokee, North Carolina all the way back up here, and then just turn around and come back home. Not take the auto train. Have to say right now, not really seeing it being worth it. Especially if the Skyline Drive had been like this, better, faster, cooler curves, that kind of thing. If I had wanted to go back and do Skyline Drive again, I'd say yes, okay, I'll do the auto train again. I'd get the bigger room, pay the $800, hopefully get some sleep, and that would be a good trip. But knowing that I don't want to go back to do Skyline ever again, I don't have to go that far north, I don't have to go anywhere near DC, well, there's not much point. So at that point, just hit the bike for 8-9 hours and get up to the start of these good roads, even into upper Georgia, and just have fun that way and save all that. Just bike the 8-9 hours, hit a motel, and start your trip that way. That's probably what I would do from now on. Just my opinion. Everyone's going to have a different one.